guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing a news video for Wrestling Empire booking mode. So as we know, Wrestling Empire came out early this year and it came out without a booking mode, which is one of the main modes that everybody just loves. Everybody, Wrestling Revolution 3D, the booking mode's probably more popular than the actual wrestling career mode, so everybody's been hyped for that. And all we were told at the time was that booking mode would come out between mid to late 2021, second half of 2021, and I suppose we're kind of getting into that territory right now. And Matt Dickie has been pretty active on Twitter lately, showing off a lot of stuff about booking mode, maybe hinting that it is on its way sooner rather than later. So we're going to go through some of the stuff that he's showed off and just see what looks to be coming for booking mode. So let's get into it. So the first tweet we're going to look at, or reply to a tweet, is one that actually came a while ago. So this isn't one of the recent ones he's been posting, but someone had tweeted basically what we were all thinking. Booking mode, it's not here, it never came, it wasn't part of the game when it was released. And Matt Dickie replied to it basically saying, booking mode has been part of every wrestling game for the last 21 years. Don't say never, basically saying that, or it's come out within a year of the game's release, basically saying that it is going to come within a year. Now, Wrestling Empire came out on the 11th of January this year. I would like to think that being in July right now, we're not going to have to wait until January 2022. I really, really hope that it's going to be sooner than that, but at least the later it goes on, we can kind of say, well, it should come within a year anyway. So the first sort of latest tweet for booking mode was just at the end of last month. Nothing big. It just says in preparation for booking mode, you should become aware that about a change of controls that you have to hold over your character until they become unhooked, and then you can drag them and move them out. Nothing big, not going to affect a whole lot. I mean, rearranging your characters, okay, but the big thing about it is that it's the first few words of that tweet, in preparation for booking mode, and that was tweeted out, I believe it says 17th of June on that. So 17th of June, he's already mentioned booking mode, so that's the first kind of maybe hint that he is thinking about booking mode, and anything that he's doing in the game, developments he's making, is coming towards booking mode. So his next tweets are actually really getting into booking mode. It shows the contract scenario, and it talks about a new thing called nepotism, which basically keeps teams together. So I take it it's going to be, you can just re-sign tag teams at the same time together, or maybe it's going to be a clause that you can put in, like the no win, no loss, creative control, that kind of clause, where you put that on and the team has to stay together. So that could be good. And then the next one is going to be managers having a say in their client's contract. So the managers are going to be there and they're going to be saying, look, I think my client deserves more money. Basically, they're going to be speaking on behalf of their client, rather than in older games you dealt with a client and the manager was kind of just there in the background. So it's a nice upgrade and a nice improvement. So the next couple of tweets are about the new and improved match card. So first one is just showing the new layout, which has been seen, I think, maybe on PC versions of Wrestling Revolution, but on the mobile version I'm used to something a lot more simpler, just a white screen and like bullet points. So this is a new layout for all of us, and it's just saying you get 6 matches for TV taping, 12 or 10 for a pay-per-view, and there's a new submit button, so that's just a nice improvement. Next one I think is actually big. Your match results, or each show, will now be saved. So the card will be saved and you can go back to that show, look at that card and see the results from that match, which I think is good, because at the minute on Wrestling Revolution you can't go back to a show and see what happened on that show, so there's no way of knowing if you forget. Too bad. So I think that's a really good one. And then the final one is that you can sort of book in advance. He says although it's not really a feature, it can be done. So if you promise someone a main event, you can put them in the main event, like for a pay-per-view that's 3 weeks in advance. You can go to the pay-per-view card and put someone in the main event. So that's kind of cool, and the card update is looking good. The next thing he talks about is sort of like a color-coded chart, or color-coded squares that he puts into the box after each show. And at the minute, we don't know what that is. He says it's to do with the overall quality of your show, and that'll all mean something throughout the year. It'll all add up and be important. But it could be, well, obviously how good the matches are. We can see different coloured squares. Again, we don't know what that means right now, but he does say himself anyway, you'll come to understand it like your own kind of alien language. So it's going to be interesting, and from what I can tell, it's really just putting more depth and more meaning for each show. It's not just, you've done this show, that's done now. Stuff actually means something. A match that you had 3 months ago can now mean something 3 months on in your career, which is really good. Now this is a big one. Something completely different. As he says, the Empire title really starts to make sense here. A new territory system. And he goes on to say that on top of booking your show each week, you then have to travel to a neighbouring country, try and set an attendance record there, claim it as your own. So maybe the other companies are going to have shows there too, and maybe that's what the colours mean. So say maybe you're at All American Wrestling and your colour is blue. Say a continent has, we can see the numbers on them here. Maybe the continent has like 26k on it, right? And it's red. That means Strong Style owns that continent. They love Strong Style wrestling. You go over there and you set an attendance record of 30k. Maybe that then changes to blue, and that's now yours. They want All American Wrestling, and you have to try and basically make the whole world your show. They only want to see you. It's gonna be class either way. And he also goes on to say that every country, every territory has their own likes and dislikes. So some places might like hardcore matches, submission matches. Also, some places might specifically dislike hardcore matches or submission matches. So the whole thing's going to be class. I mean, it's a really big thing to bring in, this whole territory system. Something completely different. It's adding a whole new level to booking mode. Next, he talks about just the map benefiting from a higher resolution, looking better up close, which is all great stuff. He then goes on to say how the USA is the only territory split up into 4 quadrants, which is fair enough because it's so big. He said he couldn't make territories or whatever any more faithfully than that. It's unrealistic to try and depict all 200 whatever, you know, into one game or one map. It just wouldn't happen. and obviously people getting offended when their country isn't in it. He says, you know, he jokes about having the same problem as John Cena when deciding whether Taiwan should be its own place or just be part of China or whatever. And I suppose, you know, like me from Northern Ireland, I can't expect Northern Ireland to be in it. I don't even really expect England to be in it. I think it'll just be the UK, and that's the easiest way to do it. It should at least be the UK. I can't see him just saying, here's Europe. I expect Spain and all those places to be there on their own. But I know anywhere America and around America is going to be the main focus. So map basically is just going to be looking really good in game. So next he just uploads a little clip showing how there's going to be a little animation for when you fly between countries and territories. He says getting Street Fighter 2 vibes from that kind of thing, and you know, the way the animation looks. And here's the video that he did put up. Next thing he advertises is that between newspaper reports and TVs, the layout can be so old-fashioned that he's leaning into it, and you can actually change the year and the date that you start on, which is kind of mad. Basically saying if you want to go and start in the 90s, you can, and you can have an Attitude Era booking mode. And also it'll change basically probably a lot of the layout. By the sounds of it, he's going to make almost an entire different layout depending on whether you start in the modern day or if you go back to the old age. And even on the something as small as the match screen, the booking screen, and the submit button changes to a TV if you do decide to start in an older year. He also shows how the map is going to be shown in the news, or the map gimmick as he calls it, and from what I can see in the news headline, I think it is going to be what we said earlier, what we took a guess. It shows in the headline that All American Wrestling have beaten Wrestling Revolution in the United Kingdom with a new attendance, and it says that All American Wrestling is now reached out to 13% of the world. So it's going to be like a domination thing, like a territory. It's like, how much of the world can you reach out to? And I can't wait. Just get in, try and take over 100% of the world. And hopefully it actually is kind of hard to maintain it. I don't want it to be, we take over 100% of the world, easy dubs, you know. I want to maybe wrestle for 2 weeks and then all of a sudden, Strong Style have took back the UK. We got to fly over there, have a show, and take that back. But the whole map thing looks class. The next thing he talks about is another like sort of reality update, making things more realistic. And that you can see that the arena is more empty for dark matches, and you can make mistakes in front of a smaller crowd and it won't really have as much of an impact. And the next one is that you can see the arena filling up over the course of the night as your show gets better. Now, I have to admit, I'm a wee bit worried about this. I don't want to start a show and get, say, like we know we have like, what, 6 match slots? And then I think we actually maybe get more if you count the dark matches. I'm not sure if that includes dark matches, but we get 6 match slots. I don't want to get 4 matches in and the arena is still half empty. Even if I've got 5 stars all the way. You know, I want the full arena for when my main show starts, because that's what happens. Sure, if you look at WrestleMania, the arena isn't sold out for the pre-show, right? No, it's not. Nobody cares. But by the time the main show starts, everybody's in, you know? People aren't going to wait until 3 matches in or right before the main event and then decide, do you know what, I'm going to go in now. So hopefully it's not too ridiculous and you're not 4 matches in and the arena is still a quarter empty or something. But it is a realistic update and you can see why he's doing it. And back to the map gimmick, there's a lot going on with this. He says if you hotshot the territory, it's possible for those territories to change their likes and dislikes over time. So you can see, with All American Wrestling going to Quebec so often, the fans have now decided they really like faces and they hate steel cages. So yeah, the map is just, it's going to be a weird one. Like, I feel like it's going to constantly keep you on your toes. It's going to be a task at the start to try and take over, and it's going to be very tough to be comfortable, but it's going to be a great challenge and a great grind. And he also says, by the way, that, you know, it's going to be a 10% change, and you're going to notice that you can't just do the same show in every place. It's just not going to work. Just a few more screenshots, to be honest, of scenarios in the game. Stuff that, to be honest, we're well used to by now. Wrestlers with creative control demanding to change their names and gimmicks and all sorts. And then also the booker, the owner, telling you, the booker, that he wants to see certain changes, like in this case a certain superstar being champion by the first week of September, or someone, it could be I want you to put the title on someone with 85% attitude or something. Normal scenarios, challenges, that'll probably cost you your job if you fail them. Stuff that we are used to from previous booking modes. And this one, lads, is as recent as an hour ago. This was posted an hour as of the time of recording this video, so it's 3:30 right now. He's posted this about 2:30. And basically, he's addressing a bug in the game where rosters with less than 4 characters are crashing. He's going to fix it. It'll be smoother when you have to hit restart career. But it's the last tweet that he puts out where it says, whenever you're able to choose between career or booking career in the next update. Lads, the next update is going to bring booking mode to Wrestling Empire. What a moment. That is the news that we wanted to hear, and it very nearly wasn't in this video, but thankfully we now know this, and it's coming in the next update. When is the update going to be though? We just don't know, but surely it's not going to be too far away. And the final thing I was going to show you anyway is his pinned tweet where he says he's working on booking mode, it is the priority, and it's going to come out sooner rather than later, and he doesn't see anything more important than that at the minute. But thankfully, with that last tweet, we know it is definitely on the way. But lads, that is it for today's video. That is all the news, all the, well, it's not really leaks, Matt Dickie's put it out himself, but everything that we know about booking mode. And the big one is that we know it's coming in the next update. When will that be? It can't be too long. I have a feeling it has to be over summer. Surely he's not going to wait 2 months or more for this update. It has to come soon. I can't wait for booking mode. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video, lads. Leave a comment, because YouTube loves that. You drop a comment, my views go up. Don't know why. That's just the way it works, lads. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time, guys. Cheers.